Hey guys, welcome back into the next episode of Sports Talk with Hawk. I am Hawk, and today we are looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers, one of the most storied franchises in the NFL. They're stuck in a rut, but what happens when you're a great organization and you just can't suck bad enough? Well, I'll tell you. Here we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome back in on this glorious day. Should be Friday for you guys, so hopefully the weekend is kicking off well for you. We are looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers today. This team is in an absolute cycle, and they have been for the last 5 years. They're not bad enough, and this is a credit to the organization. I am complimenting the organization right now, not bashing them. This is a credit to how this place is run. They are so well run behind the scenes, organizationally, from the top down, that even when they don't have the talent or the ability to truly compete, they make the playoffs no matter what. No, it is not Mike Tomlin. You want to know how I know? Because he's not winning late. Great organizations can get away with 3 to 4 wins a year just by being better than everybody else. The Pittsburgh Steelers are so well run, so drama-free, that players get to play exactly how they want to. They get to play free. They can go out and do whatever they want. So even if they may be less skilled than another player, they don't have the drama weighing them down that another team might have. Now, that has not been the case at the end of the year here in recent years. George Pickens this last year ended up being a little bit of drama. But you have got now consecutive back-to-back-to-back years where they start out the season really hot and then go winless and get blown out in the playoffs. You remember my viability rant. Multiple friends have heard it. You guys got to hear it on the Chicago Bears podcast, the Chicago Bears Snapshot. The Pittsburgh Steelers aren't viable to anybody. They're lucky to everybody. They're not viable to anybody, but they're lucky to everybody. And that is not where you want to be. This is why I've been a huge proponent for them to trade Mike Tomlin. For them to move off from Mike Tomlin. The same voice eventually does wear down. And he has had a bunch of coordinators come in, and not coordinators that everybody else is just lining up to hire either. This isn't Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs. This isn't a situation where you've got top-end assistants backing up this organization. They are just so well run. The scout department is so good. They are what the Cowboys wish they were. The Steelers are what Jerry Jones wishes the Cowboys were. Able to be loyal, but really, really smart and draft amazingly well. The problem is the focus is wrong. And how do I know? Well, here we go. Let's look at the sheet. So what did they do in 2024? Well, the stats bear out exactly how it truly played out. They were the 23rd total offense in the league. They were better for a little bit under Russell Wilson, and then eventually that balloon came back down to earth. They averaged 319 yards a game. Through the air, they were 27th in the league at 192 yards a game. And on the ground, they were 11th with 127 yards a game on average. They averaged scoring 22 points per game. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Yeah, but what about that defense? I mean, yesterday you did the Titans, and they were the second defense in the league. Steelers have got to be right behind. Nope. The Steelers were the 12th best total defense in the league. They were 25th against the pass at 228 yards a game, and they were 6th against the run at 98 yards a game. They allowed 20 points per game on average. Now, why do the Steelers win? Well, I will tell you, it is because of their defense. And how do I know that? Turnover differential, the biggest one we've had yet. Plus 16 in turnover differential. 17 interceptions, 16 fumble recoveries. They gave away only 6 interceptions, but did give away 11 fumbles. They averaged almost exactly 2 takeaways a game. And they averaged they averaged 1 giveaway a game. That is a recipe for success. And you are right. Without this defense, this team has no hope. If TJ Watt goes out for a whole year, and then Joey Porter has a couple games he misses, I don't think this team is ever in contention. We saw the difference without TJ Watt on the field. It's a whole different defense to have to defend. You can run at them without TJ Watt because he is just able to just slide and slink through that offensive line on the rolling blocks. But they were susceptible against the pass. Their secondary isn't... Joey Porter Jr. and Minkah Fitzpatrick are good. The problem is the other side isn't great. The other safety's solid, but they need another corner. They really need another corner that can help Joey Porter, because right now, that corner is getting absolutely attacked. Now, do they have a really tough division? Oh, absolutely. You've got to play Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson 2 times a year, and you also got beat by Jameis Winston in a snowstorm. The weather plays a factor. Everything else can play a factor. But the reality is when you play good teams, you lose. That game against Washington was the last good team that they had beaten. And I think that was Washington's wake-up game of, this is what you have to beat in this league. All those young guys figured out, if we want to win, these are the teams we have to beat. And what happened? 2 weeks later, they beat the Eagles. Pittsburgh does not have the talent. It does not have the roster to be able to compete right now. And just $53 million in cap space. $53 million in cap space. Now, they are not paying a quarterback. They are not. And I want to look at the free agents. So here we go. We got Mike Williams. Probably won't re-sign him. James Daniels, the guard. I would re-sign him. If you let him walk, he's going to get paid a lot elsewhere. Both the corners, Dante Jackson and C.J. Henderson, are free agents. Neither one of them should be starting, but I like Dante Jackson as the nickel corner because of his experience, his ability to read. That is I think they should re-sign him. Justin Fields, obviously they have Russell Wilson as a free agent. Nate Harbig, Najee Harris is a free agent. DeMonte Casey is a free agent. You got some free agents. You got $53 million, and that is before the extra cap that is going to come in. So you basically have $70 million in cap space this offseason, Pittsburgh. $70 million in cap space. What are you going to do? Are you going to just run with Jaylen Warren at running back? Think about this. If you're going to let Najee Harris walk, do you really think that Jaylen Warren is the next guy to be able to take everything up? I don't. I like him as a scat back. He's injured a lot. I think he has some value, not a ton of value. But you can't be the Pittsburgh Steelers with Jaylen Warren. And I do believe that for the Steelers, it does work. Defense with a decent, good offense works for this team. The offense can't be 23rd. The offense definitely has to be between 15th and 20th. And then they got to definitely fix the defense to get it back into the top 10. They got to fix the passing defense. But that type of style works for Pittsburgh. But the more and more that you're going to play Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, even now C.J. Stroud, Justin Herbert, Bo Nix. You beat a lot of teams early in the year while they were trying to figure out who they were. And that's kind of their MO. But once again, they're going to have the second hardest schedule in the AFC North, and they're going to have to play on the road a lot. The schedule doesn't look great. And yes, I know, every single year it's like everybody doubts them and they always sneak into the playoffs. Eventually, the fairy tale ends. This year, Justin Fields, it wasn't looking good. Russell Wilson came in, gave him a shot in the arm, somehow. But it still didn't look good afterwards. Excuse me. So when it comes down to it, you've got the number 21 pick in the draft. You have the 21st pick in the draft. You have needs. You've got 8 total picks. If you're going to stick with what you are, and that's a defensive team, I would find another way to get into the first round again. I would absolutely find a way to be able to draft 2 defensive players in the first round. So, but what's the out-of-the-box idea? Well, the out-of-the-box idea is we all know they probably need a quarterback. Running with Justin Fields, I don't think works for them. They don't have a running back, so they've got holes to fill. They don't have a lot of receivers. They've got George Pickens, but he seems to be another diva that Pittsburgh has decided to grab in the draft and probably won't actually work out. So what does Pittsburgh do? I'm sorry, I'm trading Pickens. Pickens is not worth the hassle that he is on the team. Trading George Pickens to a wide receiver needy team will work really well. You could easily make a trade for a experienced, I'm not going to say veteran because I don't think we need to go, you don't need to go too old, but you can make a trade for an experienced receiver pretty easily using George Pickens. George Pickens is going to be valued higher. His athletic ability is outrageous. His work ethic is what's questioned. And I'm not so sure that Tomlin is getting the best out of his players anymore. I've said it over the last couple years. To have collapses like this, that means you're not getting the best of your players at the end of the season. The end of the year is when skill also becomes very apparent. It is a great divider when playoff time comes around, and the skill level on the field just is outrageously lopsided when a team plays Pittsburgh. But if you are a team sitting there needing a receiver, remember, Jim Harbaugh had Michael Crabtree. Jim Harbaugh is not afraid of divas. I think the Chargers getting George Pickens would be really big for Justin Herbert and Ladd McConkey. I think it would actually really help McConkey. I believe it would then open up a lot of opportunities. The Chargers do definitely need a running back, and I know Jim Harbaugh is going to draft probably 2 of them this draft. I have no questions about that. But I think they need to trade Pickens, and I think they need to trade him to a wide receiver needy team. Probably, you could even go Carolina, try to tempt them, see if you can get them to bite on Pickens. You're going to be able to get a second-round pick for Pickens. I think because of the character flaws that he has, the questions, I don't think you're going to get a first. But you can get a second, and then you can package that second with some other picks to move back into the end of the first round and steal a player from a Buffalo, from a Kansas City, from a Philadelphia that they wanted and come back in and get 2 defensive players. I would focus on the defense. The draft is not great. The draft is not great offensively. The offensive line is piecemeal together. James Daniels is a free agent, and I'm not sure he sticks around. So you may have to piecemeal the offensive line together. But I think if you go defense and you can get a second first-round pick, steal a player from a fellow contender, I think you can improve the defense. I don't think the offense gets any better. I think the offense takes a major step back. And it's not Arthur Smith's fault. It's not going to be an offensive coordinator issue. It's going to be a flat-out talent issue. Pittsburgh refuses to really focus on the offense. Gone are the days of the bust Jerome Bettis and Willie Parker, and then Hines Ward and Santonio Holmes and Antoine Randall, Plaxico Burress, Heath Miller. Freiermuth is a very good tight end. I love Freiermuth. And he is definitely needed to help this team work. But at the end of the day, you've got the 21st pick in the draft. You're going to have $70 million in cap space. You can do a lot of different things, or you can reset for 2026. The Pittsburgh Steelers brass will eventually need to realize what happens with Tomlin at the end of the year. Post-Thanksgiving, he doesn't win. He's been blown out in playoff games. And the Bears' expectations of just reaching where the playoffs can be is not what the Pittsburgh Steelers are. The Pittsburgh Steelers' expectation is we make the playoffs, we are competitive, can win a wild card game, and go to the divisional round and can possibly win that. Nobody is picking the Pittsburgh Steelers to win anything in the divisional round the last 3 years. Everybody's predicted them to just get blown out of the building, and they have. That's not viability. That is not viability. Nobody is thinking that the Steelers have a shot at the Super Bowl. Nobody is thinking that they're going to make the moves. There's not even faith on the outside that they're going to make the moves offensively to get a team that could compete. Because once you get into it, you have to have the offense. The offense still has to perform. And 23rd best offense isn't going to cut it. The 12th best defense could. 23rd best offense won't. They've got to figure out what they're going to do. I'm still on the Tomlin has got to get let go. The same voice has lost its fire. Mike Tomlin is a player's coach, and I think if he goes somewhere else, yeah, he could be good. But let's be honest. He won his Super Bowls in a little bit different era of football. Bill Belichick started losing Super Bowls once the era of football started changing. Mike Tomlin hasn't been competitive in January or December since football's competitive nature has changed. You have to have an offense that can light it up if needed. Not that it does it every week, but that it can do it if needed. The Pittsburgh Steelers I have great respect for. Great respect for the Pittsburgh Steelers organization. Storied NFL franchise. And the NFL is better when they are viable as an opponent. And right now they're not. They're just lucky. They're so well run. They beat poorly run organizations early in the year. And then when it comes down to it, mano-a-mano, skill versus skill, they get blown out of the field. Just blown off the field. They've got to fix this. They need to make a move. They need to make a couple drastic moves. Can they do it? I don't know. But it's going to be interesting to see. $70 million in cap space. How are you going to use it, Pittsburgh? Your fans are waiting to see what you do with $70 million. And that concludes a Friday snapshot. I love the Steelers. I grew up watching the Ravens-Steelers game. I'm still ticked off that Nick Harper couldn't figure out how to run around Ben Roethlisberger in the 2005 playoffs. But I have great respect for him. But they're really kind of a joke right now. Everybody's like, yeah, they'll get there. You don't have to worry about them. You rather play Pittsburgh in December and January right now. You want to play them late in the year. That's not what you want. If you're going to make the playoffs, you don't want to be the team that everybody wants to play. Let's just be honest. So, we'll see what they do. We will see what they do. Not sure which team we're going to do tomorrow. We are doing 7-day. We're doing the rolling. There will be a snapshot every day so we can get done before the NFL league year opens on March 10th. So continuing rolling along, getting all the snapshots done. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Not sure which team we're going to do. Got to kind of plan that out a little bit. But nonetheless, it is Friday. You guys have an absolutely great weekend. I will see you guys tomorrow for another snapshot. Stay safe, stay warm. Make sure to subscribe and like the podcast. As always, I deeply appreciate it. Until next time, for Sports Talk with Hawk, I am Hawk, and I'm out. Guys, have a great night.